I made a massive mistake recently editing Fires of the Dead, my debut fantasy novella, and I want to share it with you so that you, hopefully, don't make the same mistake. Hi, I'm Jed Herne, and this is Daily Writing Advice. So today's episode, I want to discuss a big issue I made because I was overexcited with the publication of my upcoming fantasy novella, Fires of the Dead, and as a result, I did something that probably cost me about a week's worth of time and a bit of money. So the mistake was this. I was so desperate to get a paperback copy of my book in my hand, which I've decided to self-publish. This is going to be an experiment in self-publishing this book, so I'm kind of handling all parts of the process. I was so desperate to get my paperback copy in hand that I probably wasn't as thorough with the proofreading as I should have been. And as a result, I got my book, my paperback copy sent to me, and I started reading through it, and I realized there were all these errors in it. I realized that probably, I would say like maybe every third page of that initial paperback copy had an error in it that needed fixing. So I went through it manually. I dotted every single word in the book as I read it to myself to make sure that I was getting all of the mistakes. And I did. I picked up about probably, I would say maybe like 20 mistakes in the book. And I should emphasize these weren't massive things. Some of them were just, oh, you could have phrased this a bit better by cutting this word, or, oh, you like forgot a full stop here, which is kind of a major thing. But the point being is, if I was more patient and had worked harder to thoroughly proofread that initial manuscript, which I thought I had already completely gone through it and gotten rid of all the errors. I'd read the whole thing out loud. I thought I had done it properly, but I hadn't done it properly enough. So in the future, what I'm going to learn is that invest more time in that initial upfront stage of the editing process, because I thought I had invested enough time there. Probably needed to invest more time, and it will save you having to print off new paperback copies of your book if you're going down the self-publishing route, or even if you are going down the traditionally published route. Just getting it as clean as possible, as early as possible in the process, is always going to help you. So I hope you can learn from my mistakes. Like I said, it wasn't a massive thing, the final book. I'm really happy with how it's turned out, and I was able to fix all the errors before I did a massive big printing of it or whatever. But still, it's an important lesson for next time. Make sure the text is 100%. You could hand it to anyone in the world and they would be able to go through it with a fine-tooth comb and they wouldn't be able to find any errors. That's the kind of level you need to be aiming for here before you think about printing a copy. And that's our episode. I've been Jed Herne, and this has been Daily Writing Advice. Thank you so much for being part of this episode. And now go and write extraordinary stories. See you next time.